Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the Halloween edition. Today we are going to be building from the world of Scooby Doo, the live action movies from 2004, and I think the second one is from 2005. I think they were just made a year apart. I am in Hanford and Bagley, I think that's the world. This is from Cottage Living in this 64 by 64 lot. I'm starting out by creating Spooky Island. I didn't want to make all of Spooky Island because it would take so much work. And so I wanted to incorporate like the attractions part of it. And so I put this spooky house, the wheel, and some signs from high school years from Debug, just to give it that like maybe there's some roller coasters in here. And then I decided to put these skulls that are from base game. You just have to open debug to access them because there are a lot of skulls in the park itself. And so I decided to get some and size them up. They're actually like super really tiny. And I raised them as much as I could and put them in between the mountains so that they would fit into the vibe. And so in the live action movies, we actually get to see their clubhouse from when they were in high school. And so that's what I'm going to be making here. Next to the clubhouse, there is actually a pond where one of the evil characters comes out of at the end of one of the movies. I'm spoiling the movie here for you guys, but I hope you would have seen it by now. And so here I'm making the house. It's like a broken down shack, if we're being honest. Like, there's not a lot going on here, although each character does have like their designated spots. I did look through so many pictures, you guys, like referencing the pictures. I rewatched videos, I scrolled through Pinterest and Google pictures just so that I could make this like super accurate. And even then, like, I feel like it's not 100% accurate. But I tried my best. And so the first section that we have here is for Daphne. And so in her section, she actually had like a tiny desk, actually really similar to this one. She had a mirror, some clothes, and I just made her space a little bit more purple. Next to her space in the movie was Fred's area, where he just had like some more mirrors. These people are so vain that they just have like mirrors everywhere. And so I was just looking for blue things to put inside of this, or like in this little corner for Fred. And so we have like all these mirrors. I'm using a locker from high school years. I'm using a mirror from base game. I gave him a phone and a few more frames, and I thought it would be nice to give him a woodworking table. I think he has like a table near his area, so I thought it would be nice to give him that. For Shaggy and Scooby, there is actually like a little like raised up section in the movie. It's really hard to see, but if you look really close, you can see it. And there's a bed in there. It looks like the coziest like little room. And so that makes sense for Shaggy and Scooby. And so I filled up the wall with tapestries, which is what it looks like actually in the movie. And I put a few more frames in here. I'm using this bed that's from high school years. And a lot of these posters are from high school years. Cozy Bistro Kit. What's that other one? Snowy Escape as well. And For Rent. I decided to use a lot of rugs in here to make it look a lot more cozy as well. Then there was this like weird area where I think they had like a refrigerator and some other things. I'm using these like slabs that are from the Sleek bathroom kit, and I actually sized them up so that they would fit the space better. And I'm just using some clutter from base game, high school years, dream home decorator. I used this picture as well because there's a scene where they do a flashback to when they were in high school, and so I wanted to include that picture in this space as well. I was just trying to match the picture as close as possible, and so I'm just putting in here a few more items so that they could have activities as well. This was like a very messy like cabin, I would say. Like they just had a bunch of wires and things everywhere. Obviously they were in high school, so they probably just found this when they were in high school, and they said like, let's establish here as Mystery Inc. And so that's what they did. And then I decided to put this computer or this desk from Base Game because I think they had one similar and it went really well with the vibe. This corner is actually Velma's corner, and I just didn't think it was like orange enough, and so I went and looked for some more orange items to put in here. And then to tie in the colors for every space, I decided to get some rugs and put them like for each designated region or for each designated area. And then I created this tiny little bathroom. You guys saw me close this off. I don't really know if they had that in the actual movie, but I thought I would just put a toilet in here and a sink, so just in case they have to go, they have that already. In the center here, they had like this big like science table. And although we have science tables from like the pack itself, like from Base Game and even Snowy Escape, I just didn't think like they fit the vibe because they're for kids. And so I just found some junk and I put it on the table to simulate the science table. All right, so now we're moving up to the front building where we are gonna have Mystery Inc. This is one of the coolest houses I've ever seen in a movie, and so I wanted to recreate that as best as I could in the game. It took me a long time to figure out the layout, and I didn't show you guys all of that because if this already took more than 5 hours to record, I'm sure you don't want to see that. And so on the outside, I just did some basic wallpaper. I think it was from Base Game, and I put some planters in the front, which is very similar to what it looks like in the movie. This is a very orange space, even in the movie itself, and I'm sorry for this super shiny floor from I think this is from Base Game actually, or is it from City Living? I can't remember, but I'm sorry for how shiny it is, but it's very accurate to the actual floor that is in the show. Now, I created this like little lobby entrance area, and then on the left-hand side is where we have the kitchen, dining room, and living area. And so here you see that I've already separated this kitchen area, which is super bright yellow. And so I decided to use this wallpaper from Love Struck, which I think sort of matched what the wallpaper actually looked like in the movie. It's slightly different, but I think it goes well with the vibes and it matches pretty well with the actual movie. I thought the kitchen was a little bit small, so I decided to make it bigger. And then they have a sunken living room, and so I created a room in here, and then I dropped it down, like I made a sunken living area. And so here I put it all blue, which is actually how it looks like in the movie. I put some stairs in here, and I put these sofas, which I think are from Base Game, and these poofs that are from Life and Death. I decided to use these Base Game little side tables and put some lamps on there. And then over on this side, there is a fireplace in the back, and there are actually some stairs that go up to like a second story. I didn't actually make that because I didn't really have a purpose for it. And so I just created this designated purple area, which looking back, every member has like their designated spot. I feel like Velma is the most prominent one with like the orange being everywhere, but that's definitely Daphne's, and this is definitely Fred's. They had like this built-in, and so I decided to use these cabinets from Dream Home Decorator to create like the TV stand. And I think they look pretty good. I just put a bunch of books in there. And then I realized that they had like an outdoor area, and so I created this little like outdoor space, which I end up like putting stuff in later on. I had this space that I wasn't really sure what to do with it. I just could see in the movie that they had like a space in there, but I couldn't really see what was actually in there. This ends up being the dining room table, the dining room. So you'll see me work on that in a bit. Over on this side, I saw in the movie that it was like a lounging area. It sort of looked like a bar with some sitting spots, and it was very green. So I made it green as well. You'll see me do that here as well. And this was actually elevated. And so to create like another area. And so I think this is sort of like Shaggy's and Scooby's like spot, because it also looks like very laid back and very chill. And so I put these base game cabinets, which are the same ones that I actually used in the kitchen, and I put a bar which matches exactly to the base game cabinets. I'm using these bottles that are also from base game because I genuinely feel like this was a bar. And then over on this side, in the movie, I think it was a door that led to the outside, or it was like another entrance, but it didn't fit with my vibe, and so I just ended up putting some lockers in there to fill up the space. Going into the kitchen, this kitchen was very yellow. Everything about this kitchen was yellow, and so I wanted to keep it consistent. I'm using some base game cabinets and these fridges that are from the Home Chef Hustle kit. I decided to use these longer upper cabinets to change it up a little bit. I decided to tuck in the cabinets because I didn't want like that back side of the cabinet to show. So I did that there. I'm using also Home Chef Hustle like stove, and I put a sink. I put some snacks in there for Shaggy and Scooby, and I put the cereal from the from one of those packs with the open cereal. Here I put the dining room table. I'm using a base game table and these chairs that are from high school years, and I'm using some plants that are from Love Struck. I just feel like it looks so much better like this. Now over on this side we have the lab, where this is, I guess, where they have like a computer and desks, and where they do like experiments. In this blue area, I just decided to make it blue because I saw in the show that it was blue, and they had like an astronaut suit, so I just decided to put a knight there, and I made it sort of like a rest area. Now in the center here, they had a bunch of desks in this wraparound like circle, so I decided to put again these desks from base game, and then I'm using these cabinets once again from base game to make it look like a circle. This took a while. This is sped up for you guys, but you can still see how long it took me to organize these desks. I just wanted it to look like it was built in, and not like the desks had like this in-between space between them. I'm using a bunch of computers here, and I sort of thought that each computer was for a designated member. In the show itself, in the movie, they had a bunch of books throughout this area, and so I just clutter up all the counters with books. You can see here that I gave each like character their own chair, and then I'm adding these cabinets, like these bookshelves from the Refined Living Room kit, and then I'm going in with some curtains from the Desert Lux kit. I decided to open up to the top just because I didn't feel like there was a purpose to have anything there. Now we're going to the other side, where I'm starting out with Shaggy's bedroom. I gave each character their own bedroom and bathroom, and so here I'm creating Shaggy's bathroom. I feel like Shaggy wouldn't have that big of a bathroom. He would just have like the basic stuff that he needs. I feel like he wouldn't be super into like having like the biggest, nicest bathroom, and so I'm using a lot of base game stuff for in here. I'm using this carpet that again is from base game. And then I decided to use this wallpaper that is also from base game, but it's very 70s, very like Scooby Doo. I gave him a mini fridge and a microwave because that screams Shaggy and Scooby. I'm using this bed that's from high school years, and I'm using this sofa from the Basement Treasures kit. It looks a little like worn down and like it could fit their vibe. I decided to give him like a lot of posters to sort of go with the vibe that we did in the high school bedroom over there. Now, going into Fred's bedroom, I knew this had to have a big bathroom. I knew this had to be upscale, and I knew fashion had to be a part of it. And so I'm using these curtains from the Desert Luxe kit once again. I gave him this huge like closet from from high school years, and I gave him that mirror from the Basement Treasures kit. I gave him a bunch more mirrors and some weights so he could work out. I put this painting that is from Love Struck, which I gave also to Daphne because they are obviously in a relationship, I feel like. And so I would imagine that they would have like this shared painting that maybe both of them have. I created a bathroom for him here. And so I'm just using a bunch of like sleek bathroom stuff, a bunch of base game things, and high school years. These little paintings are from the Book Nook kit. Now I'm going over to Daphne's room, and obviously this had to be like pink and purple. I thought about putting this flooring, but then I realized that I wanted to use this wallpaper from Lovestruck, and it didn't really go too well. So I decided to go with just like a pink carpet. I'm using again the same bed from Lovestruck that I use in Fred's room, which I think it's fine. Maybe they had a discount. I'm using these little side tables that are from Life and Death, which I'm obsessed with. I don't think I realized we had this color in Life and Death, which is so pretty. I clutter up her room with some makeup stuff, a couple of mirrors, and then I decided to make that little back room her little closet. So yeah, I'm just putting up more stuff in here. And so I am going in here, and I left the leopard print floor in there because I feel like it's like a good pop of color, and the wallpaper in there is all pink. So I'm using a bunch of Dream Home Decorator stuff. I decided to give her some shoes as well, which are also from Dream Home Decorator, which looks super, super cute. I'm using this lamp that's once again from Lovestruck, and I'm using this mirror that is from High School Years. Now going into her bathroom, this is one of the largest bathrooms we have in the game. I'm using some Home Chef Hustle flooring and some sleek bathroom like tile on the walls. I wanted to use the sleek bathroom pink stuff because I think it looks super cute, and I don't think I've ever used all of it in pink, and Daphne I feel like would be the girl to have it all in pink. So I'm using a lot of the sleek bathroom things, even this plant. This shower though is from what pack is that? I think it's Snowy Escape. I'm using that mirror that is from the Cozy Bistro kit, and again I'm using that painting that I told you guys, and that painting also has this swatch with the feet, which I think, or with the heels, that actually looks super cute in here as well. Now we're going over to Velma's bedroom. She has the biggest bathroom. Daphne's was definitely big, but hers is a lot bigger. I thought for a minute that I could use the polka dot wallpaper, but then I realized how ugly it was. And I changed it because I didn't like it at all. I'm using again that bed from Lovestruck, and it's okay. I mean, maybe they had a discount, and I'm realizing that maybe I need some more packs because I don't have enough beds, but it's okay. So for her bedroom, I'm using 2 carpets or 2 rugs. I'm using the one from the Sleek Bathroom kit and this one from the Cozy Kitsch kit on top of it. I'm using some side tables that I think are from Snowy Escape, and a few more clutter items from Lovestruck and Base Game. Over on this side, I feel like she would have a desk. Oh, and I also gave Shaggy a desk because I feel like he would be like a gamer. I forgot to mention that. But I gave Velma obviously a desk. She's a studious person. I gave her a bookshelf. And then I gave her a few more frames for her to put here in her bedroom as well. I'm using this chair that I think is from Life and Death, which is super, super cute. And I'm using this lamp that is from Base Game. Going into her bathroom, I found this tile which matched perfectly with her because she has like orange and red, so it goes really well. And I'm using this wallpaper that I think is from Base Game. I'm using again these dividers from the Sleek Bathroom kit, and the tile that I used in the tub is also from the Sleek Bathroom kit. I'm using this mirror from base game, and the sink is actually from For Rent, and the mirror is from Dream Home Decorator. I'm just cluttering up the rest of the space, and I'm gonna give you guys a walkthrough of what this actually looks like. So you enter through here. I put a few more plants in here, and then we have the living room area with a lounge, with a bar, super duper cute with those plants from Love Struck. And then here I realized that I was missing some wallpaper. And then I'm going into the kitchen over here. This is the living room, kitchen. Again, very, very yellow. Yeah, I love it. And then this is sort of the living room with the TV and the Daphne area. Here I put a fountain with some plants. And then we have the dining room, which I made orange. I guess it makes sense because it's for Velma, right? Like each one has their designated spot. This is what I made of the like little rest area. And this is their lab with all the desks and the computers and all the books. It's very, very messy, but that's what it actually looked like on the show. If we go back out to the front, I made a little bathroom so they could, like, you know, if they have guests, they can go in here. And I put the talk-in toilet, so I feel like that would be funny. I put a little rest area in there as well. And this is like our hallway. I just put a TV in here, and I put like a living room area for them to chill. Over on this side, it's Shaggy's bedroom, which I'm absolutely obsessed with. This guy's obsessed with food. And I gave him that bubble, like the smoking bubbles thing. I think it just makes sense for Shaggy. Now going over to Fred's room, we put a lot of mirrors, and we gave him this designated area for him to like dress up and change. And his bathroom is relatively big compared to Shaggy's. Okay, going over to Daphne's room, which I think it's one of my favorite rooms. I don't think I've ever made such a moody, purpley pink bedroom. I love it. I wish I could live in there. We have this like walk-in closet, and this bathroom, which is just absolutely gorgeous, clean, and beautiful. Now going over to Velma's bedroom, I love this room as well. I feel like it's so sexy, super studious. It's very, very Velma. And then her bathroom is really cute as well. I think her bathroom is the biggest of them all. So yeah, that's the house for the Mystery Inc. It's huge. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. And then over on this side, I made a little pathway so you could go into the high school like clubhouse that they called it, and you can see all the little details that I put in here. Ignore the Sims that are in here. They've been here throughout the entire game. I could not kick them out for my life. And so yeah, this is what the high school clubhouse ended up looking like, with the little toilet and some more rugs and some more clutter in here. And yeah, this is what the house ended up looking like. I put, once again, the swamp in here and the games. And that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We have one more video coming up for spooky season. Don't forget to like and subscribe.